Hello, my dears. I'm back from my honeymoon. How are you doing? Everyone still breathing? I'm not gonna say the perfect things, but I'm here to show up anyway and be honest and share what's helping me right now and tell you I love you. And I do have some good news, but first I have to address that yeah. This reality check of the vitriol and misogyny and racism and bigotry and greed that was already here in this country, that really founded this country through colonization, genocide, and slavery. Still here. No surprise there. That's not all that's here. Might be a loud part of this country. And we have work to do. And part of that work is dismantling these systems, and part of that work is building the new ones. Building community. Building that relational way of being, in relation to our inner cores, our inner knowing, our other senses, our other intelligences that are not only logic based and may I say short-term logic based, like logic would actually see that short-term gains at the expense of long-term viability is not the better choice. So I'll just say, long-term logic is also one of our intelligences that we can continue to cultivate and to embody and to be examples of, and to stand up and speak and walk. So, things that are helping me. Noticing when the back of my neck is really tense, and my jaw, and my breath is shallow. Noticing the ways that I brace, because in my experience, I can attend to the present and see clearly what's coming a lot more capably when I am relaxed in my body. Alive, attentive, not floppy, but as much as possible, continually releasing and relieving the tension. That's very real. And I know that I am speaking from a place of safety and privilege as a white person, and one who has had all the advantages of a colonizing legacy. And my attentiveness, my fears when I'm afraid. I'm afraid for the safety of those of you who are the most vulnerable. And I'm going to keep doing what I can to create places of sanctuary, to create places of inclusion like we have at 21 Accents and at the companies that I work with and for, to be creating new stories, new ways of talking about our history and living into who we could be, who we can be in community and in relationship through the stories that we tell about ourselves and about each other. So some of the ways I'm doing that, I'm working with a beautiful company, I think I mentioned this, to create a platform that supports storytelling, and to create that in a framework that has prompts for seeing things in relational rather than extractive ways. Hopefully I'll be able to speak more about that at some point in the future, but to create a structure that's flexible enough that many different worldviews are able to utilize that structure to tell stories that they're inspired to tell and compelled and impelled from within to tell. Where, for example, instead of just saying what is the history, we say what are the dominant narratives told by whom and why, and what are the counter narratives, the counter histories told by whom and why. Rather than say what are the resources of this land, as if this land is not alive, which we know the land is alive. It's living. We know that the plants that we eat and the animals, if you're one who eats them, and I am vegan, but they're all alive. We're all alive here. So instead we frame things in a relational way, to say, what's your relationship with the environment? Or what's their relationship with the environment? So anyway, tiny examples of a really huge project that's very exciting to me. Also, was just in Aotearoa, New Zealand, with my husband on our honeymoon, which was 4 years in the making, because we got married almost 4 years ago. But it was during lockdown. It was 12/12/2020, so we haven't been able to do our honeymoon yet. But we got to have 3 weeks in this incredible country. And I know there's still white dominance there, with the Maori people, but it's also bilingual. They also place the name first, Aotearoa, and it seems to me, but please share your experience if it's counter to mine. I know I have only a tiny glimpse, but it seems to me that they're certainly further along than the United States. Turtle Island. In that relational living. So anyway, if any of you have been following my work for a long time, one of my first videos, I shared a letter that I had written when I lived in Wellington 20 years ago, that I wrote to a company there, to the founders of a company there who work in film. And that creative letter got me invited by these founders to tour that place and to meet with them and to meet with somebody else, a writer, producer, whom I've been working with now for the last year and a half on some of his things. And I'm being kind of secretive about it because I want to see if anyone can guess, because it would be really fun for you to guess. If you know that letter, that this time I got to reconnect with them, and there is a project that they needed a writer on who, it's just a pitch for a project that they needed a writer on who shares their values. And I get to be that person. So I'm a consultant right now with this incredible, beautiful, loving, empowering company on a project. And maybe it's just a couple weeks. Maybe it'll go to be something further than that. Either way, I'm so grateful for this incredible full circle moment, 20 years in the making. I wouldn't have had this, they didn't have the position then, and I wouldn't have had the skills then to do what I'm doing now for and with them. And so, if it feels really dire to you right now, what we're heading into, I will tell you with my whole heart and with experience, we are the ones who came here now because we can do it together. We can, and we will, and we are. We have come to transcend these sad, scared, harmful patterns that do not serve anyone. And we can, and we are, and we will. And you know that. You know that in your bones. We need you and all that you're here to do and give and share from your heart. It'll take each one of us. We still have to walk through it. Yeah. We still have to do it. But this is the way. This is how we become even more of the people we're here to be, even more loving, even more skilled, even more respectful, even more grounded and rooted and supporting each other. This is how we do that, because it's what we have. And it happens to be the perfect circumstances. It happens to be the optimal, the conditions most favorable to the growth of an organism. Remember that video? Optimal! I am ready. I am open. Remember that one? I am willing to go the distance. And I say yes. Let's get rowdy and seize the day. Sing it with me. I am ready. I am open. I am willing to go the distance. And I say yes. Let's get rowdy and seize the day. One more time. I am ready. I am open. I am willing to go the distance. And I say yes with no resistance. Let's get rowdy and seize the day. Did I do that right? Let's get rowdy and seize the day. I love you. Vibes to you and all you do to bring more love into this world.